Guys, thank you for joining today. We're going to continue developing these animal characters from last week. I'm going to snatch this waist a little bit more. My brother making art looking easy. Thank you. Thank you for joining Afro Superhero. Thank you. Akin Sheye. Your name looks familiar. Let's snatch this waist a little bit. Giving me late notifications. Oh, okay. Here again. Can't believe I missed the start. No, you actually didn't miss the start. I just started now. So I actually just started. The live streams are usually I usually aim for 5 p.m. West African time. So I just started like 3 minutes before just to get on board on time. So you haven't missed anything. I just started. So I've been doing these line drawings on my own. I left off last week from only the rough sketches. So if I take these ones off, this is what I made last week. I did this rough sketch last week. So I'm just refining them a little bit more and polishing the line work. So yeah, you haven't missed anything. Oops. Yeah, I'm creating these characters for fun. Nothing, it's not like I have an actual project. Although it can actually become a project, but for now I'm just doing it for, it's something I've always had in mind to do, so I just want to see how that plays out. because I really want to explore, like I said last week, I really want to, like, my fondest memories were formed in my childhood, and I went to boarding school, so I just want to see how I can use these characters to explore or develop some memories from secondary school or high school. We don't call it high school in Nigeria, we call it secondary school, so that's the idea of this stuff. And I hope to have a lot of fun with these guys. So these are junior secondary school students. Yeah, you're just in time. So these are secondary school students. Thank you, Oluwa Belumi. Thank you very much. Okay, so because I don't want to make this stream boring, I'm just going to color these other ones that I've done already. So I'm just going to color, because if I'm doing only line work, like, the stream is going to be very boring. So let me give these three guys some colors and see how that goes. The way I work generally is that even though I'm moving to colors, I still do like some touches on the line works here and there. So in case you're wondering, like, while coloring, if something doesn't work, I would still go back and make corrections on the line work. So this one is a cheetah, a female cheetah, and as you can see, female uniforms are different from male uniforms, so that's how it is in Nigerian secondary school. Do you think you ever run out of characters? Yeah, so this is a good question, African superhero. Do you think you ever run out of character designs? I think as long as stories exist, character designs will always evolve. So to answer your question, I'll say no. I don't think I can run out of ideas for character designs as long as I don't run out of story ideas. As long as we have stories on this planet to tell, there'll always be new characters to make. So I hope that answers your question. Alright, so let me start coloring these guys. So the rhino, I'll start with the rhino. And I'm kind of using, so as you can see, there are references on the screen. I'm actually using those references because I like to draw inspiration from the original source, not from other people's designs. Even though I still study other people's designs, but I like to draw inspiration from the actual reference. So I'm going to use the photos on the screen as reference for the colors of the animals. So the rhino, I'm thinking, should be, but the colors can change as we go, but this is what I'm going to use for now. Yeah, this part is also boring, but trust me, I'm going to run through this part as fast as possible. Just hang in there. Let's see. Man, if there was any use for AI, it would probably be for things like this. Like, if I imagine if there was a button I could just press now to fill all these colors, to fill the design with colors accurately, I'll definitely use that tool. But these AI guys, they clearly don't care about that. They just want to. So yeah, I'm seeing something I don't like about this part of his mouth, so I'm going to rework this part. That's what I was saying, that sometimes when I'm coloring, I like to make corrections. So I want his mouth to dip here like this. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, please. Or if you have something to chat about, maybe a movie or anything, I'm happy to engage in that discourse. Yeah, so I think, yeah, this mouse looks better to me. So from this now, I'm going to go back to coloring. Oops. Actually, I think this mount is still off, but yeah, it's still off. This teeth. Sorry, I can't help myself. I this is how I work. I just will not feel, because the reason I work like this is because I forget sometimes. So not all posts that you see online. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but for me, sometimes after I'm done with a design and I've posted it, I look at it, I'm like, yo, I should have made this correction. Why did I forget to do this, to add this part? So yeah, the moment I see something that's not working, I just like to work on it immediately so that I don't forget. That's why. All right, back to coloring. Let's see. I'm going to line the edges and just line these edges like this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, okay. I have a way I lay flat in CSP, Clip Studio Paint, where I make sure that there are no open gaps. Yes, I'm aware of that method, but I don't like to draw with closing every gap. I think there's also a method of being able to still fill it without closing all the lines, but it's not something I've got around to study yet to use. So, but yes, thank you for saying this is a good idea. I'll probably go back. I'll check videos on YouTube and find out how to do that. This way I can use the quick selection tool to select the background, then invert the selection and lay flat color reference. Yeah, that makes sense. Instead of fully coloring around. Yeah, that makes sense. Oops, sorry. That's a good suggestion. But for now, I'm just going to run this one real quick because it's actually not taking so much. It's not going to take so much of my time. Okay. All right, so that's for that guy. So let me just quickly color this guy out. Let's see. Let's figure out the colors for this school, because I think every school has their color, especially in Nigeria. Nigerian schools, they have their own unique color. So let me see what colors can we make out. I'm thinking I want the colors to be saturated, because I want it to pop out against, I want it to have a very strong contrast with the animal skin tone, so I need it to be very saturated. For now, I'm just going to use a fill color, and with time I'll get back to it. For now, let me just pick one color that's really saturated for the top. Honestly, the only reason I cover all my line art gaps is so I can color with that method. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Like, if you want to work real fast, maybe, yeah, so that you can actually select different parts. Yeah, that makes sense. But I do, so this workflow you're referring to is very Illustrator friendly, but I shuffle between illustration and painting. So because I shuffle between the two, I don't want to become too surgical with the method, because if I become too surgical, then painting becomes harder for me. So I don't like, that's why I still like to do all these things manually, because it allows me to, it allows me to still think freely. So I'm not limiting myself to procedural techniques for designing. Procedural techniques don't really help if you want to be a very good painter. So I don't really like, I still like the manual method. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. Okay, so this color is not working. Again, these are just few colors for now. I'm just going to use it and adjust. So I need to adjust this color, make it darker, maybe even change. Okay, so yeah, maybe something like this for now. My school uniform colors were very boring, so I don't want to use my actual school uniform colors. My school uniform colors were white top and red shorts, and that's just so boring. I need to switch it up a little bit. As an African person, do you find yourself more sensitive, comfortable with the color brown and other warmer colors than other artists? Find yourself more sensitive with the color brown? I don't. So even when painting, I actually don't use brown all the time, like, because if you study black skin, you see that there are ranges. Like black skin tones are not always brown, especially with different lighting conditions. So I'm not even very, except maybe I'm doing illustrations or designs like this, then I stick to brown. But even at that, I still try to move away from the orange hue and move towards red and indigo, as opposed to just staying to the orange, because brown is a shade of orange on the color wheel. So instead of sticking to the orange all the time, I usually move it around towards the indigo / pink. Sometimes I even find black skin tones in purple and blue. So there's a lot of range. Like I don't like to think of it as brown is brown. Yes, our skin tones are actually brown, but it depends on the lighting conditions. The skin tone can actually change, and black skin can be very reflective as opposed to white skin. Black skin is very reflective. You can see a lot of colors on black skin. So yeah, for example, if a person that is really dark, if they stand under the sky, if they stand in an open sky, their skin tends to reflect a lot of blues. So you see like blue tones on the surface at the top of their forehead. So there's a lot of tones. I don't really think about brown like that. How do you get out of creative slump? I've been in one for this whole month after what I consider a rather productive June. It feels like I suddenly forgot how to draw, and it's been frustrating. Yeah, bro, I understand how that feels. I understand how it feels because I'll tell you a story. In 2024, I went to Annecy in France, the Annecy Festival in France, and that whole event was for like 2 weeks. So I didn't draw for a whole 2 weeks, and when I came back, I tell you, my line work was rusty. It was really, really bad. Like, I'm not even joking. It was bad. Like, I saw it like, and I felt really bad because I was like, yo, this is the first time that I would be away from drawing for like 2 weeks, and I really felt it. So what I did was I just went back. I just focused and did more drawings in 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to recover. 2 weeks of drawing every day for at least 6 to 7 hours drawing every day for me to get that line work back to where I was happy. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. If creative block, or you feeling bad about whether or not you want to continue your creativity, my advice is to do something different. Maybe take a walk, try something different, like read a book, take a walk, visit people, go to a restaurant, a coffee shop, hang out with friends. Just try something different. Clear your mind actually. And when you clear your mind, spend some time clearing your mind, then you have this renewed vigor and desire to try to get back to it. And when you get back to it, you have to be consistent. You stay on it consistently. Like I said, it took me 2 weeks, so I don't know how long it will take you, but sometimes it might be less than that, it might be more than that, but you have to be consistent. So I hope that answers the question. So yes, let me get back to this. So I'm going to do the sandals, the shoes, brown shoes. Again, I have to be careful with these tones because I don't want the shoes to be too saturated. I want the most saturated part of the design to be at the top, not at the bottom. So that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, thank you for joining, Charlie. Charlie, thank you for joining. Yeah. I hope you guys had a good week. A good week. So I'm going to. This is how I usually work. I create another layer for things like the eyes and the mouth. So this is the eye. And this is the teeth. Inside of the mouth is something like this. And then after seeing the Doomsday trailer, the week was good. Really. Actually, to be honest, I'm actually indifferent about, and I mean, guys, don't quote me out there because I'm supposed to be like very loyal to Marvel because I work for the studio, but to be honest, man, I don't know. I think I've been let down too many times to be very, very excited about Doomsday. So yeah, I hope it works out. I really, of course, I'm going to see the movie when it comes out, but I'm not very, very excited. Like unlike the other franchises, the Infinity Wars and Endgame. Yeah, that helps. That helps some. I've tried taking my mind and hands off the PC because I don't want to equate art with that feeling of frustration. I'll try to still take things easy and try your suggestions. Yes, yeah, take things easy. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just slow and steady. You get back. I'll jump back in with more vigor next week. Yeah, I wish you all the best, man. But don't give up. Okay, so back to this thing. Let's see. Wristwatch. Okay, so I'm going to give this skin like some more. Okay, yeah, I forgot. He has a socks. He has socks on. This color is too bright. Okay. Then belts. Actually, yeah, belts. It's giving me red belts, brown belts. Okay, so I need to refine this line work a little bit, so I'm going to add that line here and give some holes for the belts. Something like this, and then this is a badge. I'm just going to draw a shape inside, make some logo. Okay. So it should be. Okay. Shoes. Okay. So this is the uniform, the school uniform. Now, one thing about secondary school uniforms in Nigeria is that they tend to have this line here. So I'm going to make that line colored. I'm going to color that line. This is the belt. So I'm going to color this line and give it a blue color. This line. And then I'm going to color the badge. So I need this badge to be a mixture of different colors, like green. I want a little bit of green inside there. Green, blue, blue, and then maybe pink or magenta, something like this. So that's the school badge. Yeah, let's see. Guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. It gets really awkward when everywhere is quiet. Eyes. Now I'm having, okay, let me fix this belt first, and then after the belt I'll work on the skin tone, because I feel like the skin tone is still a bit too pale. So maybe if I can make it darker. Oh, okay. There's some comments in the chat. The color choices are so interesting to me, and I like your reasoning behind picking saturated colors. Thank you. In my secondary school, we wore white on white. Oh man, with white shoes during school hours, brown khaki shorts, and shorts with brown or black sandals after school hours. Yeah, man, white on white. We wore white on white in my boarding school only on Sundays for for services, like for worship services, we wore white on white. But we had basically 3 uniforms in that school. We wore this normal uniform for classes where was white and red, white top, red shorts. Then hostel wear was brown. It was one very funny color, like checkered brown. And then the Sunday school was white and white. The school badge and cap cardigan gray with the badge printed on blazers was the only real pop of color. That Ankara on Sundays. So okay. And Ankara on Sundays. No kidding. You guys wore Ankaras on Sundays. Nice. I've not seen any Nigerian school wearing Ankara before, so I didn't know that. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to start refining some of these parts. The belts, the buckle of the belt is metallic, so let's fix that. Metallic. Then let me see. I'm thinking about this badge again, and it's looking very. Let me see. I want to use a. There's something I want to do. I want to use a analogous color instead of blue. A color analogous to green, something like this. Let me see how that works. Yes, this feels more cohesive. All right. When designing characters, is it best to design from a 3/4 view, or is it just based on your preference? Yes, it's always advisable to do a 3/4 view and an expressive character, because a 3/4 view is best because you see the solidity of the face, of the form of the character itself. But the front view can be really boring and deceptive sometimes. Like, you're just looking at only the front view, you're not really seeing what's happening on the side. There's no depth, so it's as if you're looking at a flat, compressed character. But when you look at it from the side, or from a 3/4 front view or 3/4 rear view, then you see more of the form, and it becomes more interesting to look at. And it just saves production a lot of time, because they don't have to call you back to do drawovers. So it's better to just draw 3/4 views to save time and money. And money is very important for production, so yeah. Yes, then the boots, so his shoes, the sole of his shoes should have a different color. So thinking of brownish, faded brown, something like this. Actually, this one is not brown enough. Yeah, it's more like it. Yeah, so back to the belts. I need to make this thing look metallic, so I'll just add some shininess. I'm not going to spend too much energy on this. Alright, so back to the character himself. I'm going to tweak this color a little bit. I think it's too pale. So let's make him darker, saturated. Yeah, I think something like this. This is better than this. Then I want to add some texture. I want to add some texture to the, let's see, I'm going to add some texture to the character skin. Alright, so just adding some texture to this skin. Yeah, so this is the horn. So I just added a little bit of texture to this. And now that I've added textures, I need to also do like a rough shading pass, very rough. I'm not going to overkill. If this is all I do today, then I'm good. I'd have loved to do a female, but let's see how it goes. Actually, I'm going to use another brush. Hold on. Where's this brush? Yeah. Okay, so after this, I'm just going to, after the shade, I'm going to do some highlights. Oh yeah, the buttons, I'm not want to draw them properly. Yes. What's the color of the buttons? Let's say white. I don't know if white is a good idea, but let's see. White. Yeah, I don't think white is bad. Let's see red. Yeah, white looks better than red. So, all right, and then let me add some highlights. Highlights. It's probably a bad idea. Let's see. Right, so I think I'm done with this guy. I don't want to spend so much time on that. So let's see, let me work on the antelope. walk. Walk on the antelope. How much storytelling should be visible in a single character? Yeah, that's a good question. So I think the purpose of think of character design as casting an actor for a film. So you want to cast somebody that embodies the role, that looks like the right. So think about shows. I don't know if you can respond to this, but if you can you give me a couple of shows that you feel like, some movies that you've watched that you feel like this character was the perfect person for that role? Like films that are popular that you feel like I should know, because I'm sure that there are films like that. So when you think about films like that, what makes those characters the right person for that role in that movie? What did you see about those actors that performed or that played so well in that role that you're like, oh yeah, this embodies the personality of this character? That's what you're trying to do with character. You're trying to capture the spirit and the soul of the entity that's going to convey the story, because at the end of the day, characters are entities that convey the story, and every story is different. So you need to find the right character that will embody that story. That's the purpose. Okay, you said okay, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man. Yeah, so if you think about Robert Downey Jr., what makes you think that he's the perfect person, that there's nobody else that could have acted that role better than him? Which I believe you're right. I believe Robert Downey Jr. was the perfect guy for Iron Man. So I think what made him special is the fact that I cannot imagine anybody else embodying, like he embodies that spirit of that snob attitude, that coy. He embodies that coyness. He looks like somebody that actually would be rude, like has a little bit of rudeness and what's it called? Like a spoiled kid, like a spoiled rich kid. So he has that personality of a spoiled rich kid. He also looks like someone that is very intelligent, because Iron Man is clearly a very intelligent character for him to be able to develop all that technology. So you think about a Robert Downey Jr. and think about that in your story. How do I create somebody that is like Robert Downey Jr. for my story, that when people look at it, they're like, yo, I can't think of anybody else that would have played that role better than this person. I can't think of any other character I can't think of a better looking character for that role than what I'm looking at right now. In terms of animation, can you think of any characters that embody a role so well that when you looked at, you're like, yo, I don't think there's anybody that could have, like, there's no better design for such a character? If you don't mind, you can share that in the chat. Which animated show have you watched where the character was so good, design was so good, that you're very sure that nobody else could design a better character than that? And then that's what you want to strive for. I can't even think of anyone now, but yeah, that's what you're aiming for. I hope that makes sense. I think that sort of control charisma that he seems to naturally. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And absolutely, he has that. If you think about Heath Ledger's Joker, for example, man, that guy was the perfect. Like, I can't think of anybody else that would have played the Joker, the Dark Knight's Joker, better than Heath Ledger. Ah, yeah, RDJ is solid. As for animation, I'll go with Jinx for Arcane. Okay, nice, nice. You're right. Thank you, Dynamic Funk. Thank you very much. So you're right. RDJ is cool. I'll go with Jinx from Arcane. Yes. So Jinx looks like someone, because Jinx is she's a troubled teenager. Well, was she a teenager? I guess. I think she was still a teenager. Actually, she was a teenager when they separated. I don't know if when she was grown, I don't think she was still a teenager. But anyway, the Jinx embodies like the spirit of somebody who is troubled, like who is having mental breakdowns and struggling with a mental condition. So she just embodies that role so well. So your responsibility as a character designer is to make sure you ask the right questions to your director, like or your supervisor, animation, art director, production designer, and director. Those three people. You ask them the right questions. Who is this character? And you're not thinking about the character just physically. You're also thinking about them intellectually as well. And one thing too that really helps with making characters that are unique is something that I read in a book. And funny enough, this book I'm talking about is not even an animation book. It's actually a writing book. And I learned about the tridimensionality of character from this book. The title of the book is The Art of Dramatic Writing by Lyos Egri or something like that. So, and that book, if you can read it, by all means do so. But that book is kind of dense, like the language, because that book was written in like 1970s or thereabouts, so it's a very old book, and the language was very classical and traditional in terms of the writing, the understanding of writing that he was trying to communicate in that book. But one thing he pointed out in that book that I learned was the tridimensionality of character. He said that there are three aspects of a character that makes a very good character. It is physiological, psychological, and sociological. So you think about those three things: physiological, I repeat again, physiological, psychological, and sociological. So physiological has to do with physical things, like for example, a character that has deformities, or a character that has some sort of physical challenge. Maybe they walk with a limp or something like that. You know, that's a unique feature that makes that character stand out. So that's physiological. So you have to think about physiological things, physical things. Does the character have big arms or big hands, or does the character have, like if you look at Jinx, for example, she has a very long flowing hair. She's the only person that had long braids, that length of braids in the entire show. You know, so that's a physiological attribute. That's what makes her stand out. So that's the physiological aspect. Then there's the psychological aspect. Psychological has to do with the person's thinking, or the person's thoughts or belief system psychologically. So that's the psychological aspect. And then there's the sociological aspect. So that's the third one. Sociology has to do with how the person's background. So the person's family, how they were raised, the environments they grew up in, and things like that. If you look at Jinx grew up in the lower, what do you call that now? Would I call that the suburbs? No. She grew up in the low level angle of society, or the lower level part of society. You know, so that's her upbringing, based on that sociological aspect, contributes to who she is and why she's like that. So if you think about the kind of weapons she has, for example, if you look at her weapons, you see that her weapons are made of scrap, and that makes sense. If you look at what's the other guy, Jake, I think his name is Jake. So if you look at Jake's weapons, the weapons are more sophisticated, like the arm thing, the arm thing that Vi ended up using in the show. That weapon, that gauntlet is sophisticated, and it makes sense that it will be sophisticated because it was made by somebody from high society, which is the Jake guy. I think that's his name. I hope I'm not messing it up. So that guy is from high society. That's why he has the gauntlet that is very sophisticated. If that gauntlet was made by Jinx, it would not look as sophisticated. It would look like it's made from like scrap metal and stuff. And that's because of her psychological background. So this is something that I think would help. I hope what I'm saying makes sense to you. But always think about the tridimensionality of your character. What are the, again, physiological attributes, psychological and sociological attributes, and make those three things show physically. Like find a way to dramatize and communicate that in the way the character looks. Hope that makes sense. Spider-Verse characters so on point. Yes, Spider-Verse has good characters. Yes, the Arcane designs too were so solid. My favorite from Arcane was actually Mel and Ambessa. Oh, nice. Yeah, Mel, I like Ambessa a lot. Like, to be honest, I really like Ambessa a lot. She looks like a really a really strong black woman. You know, so yeah, you're right. But again, think about the things I said. Tridimensionality of character. And hopefully that will help you. All right. Yeah, so painting this or coloring this character will be much easier because I already have a reference on the side, so it's just going to be a lot easier. Let me draw out this badge. And every school in Nigeria has a badge, unless the school is like very, very like unsophisticated, or like government schools. I don't know if government schools have badges, like unique badges, but almost every private school has a unique badge. So what I mean by badge is the logo, like this logo I'm drawing. Yep. Absolutely on point, thank you. Sociological, psychological, and physiological, psychological, and sociological aspects. Three-dimensionality of characters when designing, yes. So it's actually tri-dimensionality, but yeah, you get what I mean. Like tri, like TRI, tri-dimensionality. And the book is, the title of the book where I learned that thing from is The Art of Dramatic Writing. I'm going to type it here. The Art of Dramatic Writing. That book was by, I hope I don't butcher his name, Laos Egri or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So if you don't mind reading that book, man, that book will really help you if you are really interested in writing generally. Yeah. So that was the book I got that concept from. All right. So let's color. Just downloaded a copy. Wow, that's so fast. Yeah, but let me give you a fair warning that the language in that book is very classical and traditional. Like it's very dense. So if you're not, like I said, the book was written in the 70s. So, and his approach to dissecting writing was from the theatrical aspect, like from When I say theatrical, I mean like stage play. So he kept saying things like, whenever he would give, all the case studies in that book were from stage play. Like he didn't give movies, he didn't study, there are no studies on movies, or just stage play. So it's very, very dense. I feel like if you're not really into writing or art generally, like, man, you find it very boring. But it really helped me. It was very helpful. What's something everyone obsesses over that actually doesn't matter as much professionally? That's a good question. What's something people obsess a lot about? Yes, I have two things to say to answer your question. One thing that people obsess a lot about is style. People obsess a lot about style. How do I get my style? How did you evolve your drawing style? How did you discover your style? Like, to me, style is overrated. Like, and I could be wrong, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't develop your style or find one way to illustrate or tell your stories. But man, I come from a different school of thoughts. I didn't go to art school, I'm self-taught, so everything I know is based on reading, study, and research, personal research. And because of that, I'm not transfixed or casting. Like, my style, whatever it is I'm doing, is not cast in stone. It's not like cookie cutter. Like, I'm always thinking about how to get better. And for me to settle down with a style, to me, it feels like a crutch. Like, it feels like I'm not doing myself any service. It feels like I am denying myself of the opportunity to explore the breadth, the length and breadth, and the extent to which my artistic expression can evolve or can exist. So I don't like the idea of style. I feel like style is a crutch. It holds you back. The moment, like, the whole idea of style is, okay, you evolve to find something and then you stick to that thing. And yeah, it's good. I'm not saying having a style is bad. It's a good thing because people can recognize your work from anywhere. But funny enough, I don't think I have a style, but people still recognize my work. So I don't know. I just feel it's overrated. And studios are not going to hire you because of your style per se. They actually hire you because you can solve problems. They're hiring you because, I mean, why would I want to? I see your style all over the internet. Imagine if you had like maybe 1 million followers on Instagram, or maybe you had 2 million followers all over social media, and then a studio is hiring you. Do you think they would want you to work to create what they want you to create in the style that's already popular and is already all over social media? Of course not. They want you to solve the problem. Every story is unique, and they need somebody that thinks like that. That's the way I see that. They want somebody who solves problems, who thinks like that, who is not going to just use a cookie cutter approach to solve the real life situation, real life problems. Character design is problem solving. It's not coming to do it the way you are used to doing it. It's solving a problem. It's solving a problem because there's a brief. This is the story. We don't know what this character should look like. We are trusting you to go figure it out. And then we saw your style, we saw your portfolio before you were hired. So we're not necessarily expecting you to come and do it exactly like that. We just want you to feel free and explore and discover, find out, discover, explore. That's why there's usually the exploratory phase in character design. So explore and find what you feel is right for the story, and if you're happy with it, we'll go with it. If we feel like there needs to be tweaks here and there, you go back and do that. So yeah, style is overrated, especially if you're going to work for studios. But if you're doing your own thing, man, by all means, stick to your style. Like, when I say doing your own thing, I mean, if you are going to be launching out your own book, your own products, and you want to have this strong identity that people can always notice or discover or see or notice out there. Like, you want people to be able to discover you or find you easily. You don't want to get lost. You don't want to be a needle in a haystack, and you want people to easily find you. Yes, by all means, I think you should find your own style. But if you're going to work, like, be employable, working for studios, that style thing is overrated. Yeah, that's the first one. The second one is portfolio. I think portfolio is good, but people obsess about portfolio a lot. Like, when I say portfolio, I mean they obsess about having this curated document or curated website that has every single thing. Like, okay, this is how I do heads, and I know how to draw heads. This is the different characters, like all the different sections of the website. Like, you section out your website, broken down characters into different bits and pieces to show that you can actually do this stuff. And yeah, that is great. People, it's good to have a portfolio so you can always refer people to see your stuff, especially when you're applying for work. But for someone like me that have gotten most of the work I have gotten without applying for them, I think that portfolio can be overrated. Not because you don't have to have work you're putting out there. As long as you're putting your work out there, you don't need to have this curated documents. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, portfolio is important, but it doesn't have to be like structured and surgically created for the purpose of employment. Yeah, that's what I can think about for now. That's a really helpful heads up. I'll still try reading it though. Yeah, you can read the book if you don't mind. You use AI to help understand the writing, just like Hero with 1,000 Faces. All right, so dynamic funk. You just said something that triggered me a little bit now, just now, because you're saying you use AI to help understand the writing, just like Hero with 1,000 Faces. So I disagree with using AI to. I mean, no, think about this thing. I understand people say, the purpose of AI is to be able to increase speed, produce stuff as quickly as possible and as cheap as possible. But now we're seeing that AI is actually not cheap. But let's leave the cheap part. Let's talk about the speed. So the thing with AI is that if you write a book in a very short time, like normally if it takes somebody a whole year to write a book and AI is writing that book in 1 week, are you expecting me to use AI to read that book, or are you expecting me to use my time, more time, to read that book? Because it takes me like maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks to read a book. So are you expecting me to use three weeks of my time to read a book that took you 1 week to write or 2 days to write? Like, it's not fair. It doesn't make sense to me. So but you're talking about using AI to read. I think that's defeating the purpose of reading. The purpose of reading is to be able to form thoughts in your head. You're actually reading words, and then as you're reading the words, you're forming thoughts in your head, questioning ideas, questioning what you're looking at, forming ideas in your head. New belief systems are forming in your head as you're reading through the whole thing. And then reading also gives you an opportunity to hear the writer's voice inside of your head. So if you use AI to do that, then you've already defeated the aim. Like, then what's the purpose of reading it? I don't know. To me, it just looks counterintuitive. I see this thing, AI is all over the place, and they're really shoving this thing down our throats. Because now I'm looking at an email. I get an email that I've actually read, that I can actually read this email in 1 minute, but then I'm seeing a summarize button, and I'm like, why the hell do I need to summarize? I can read this thing in 1 minute. Why do I need to summarize? So okay, if I summarize the email that I could have read in 1 minute, is it so that I can read it in 10 seconds? Like, how does that make my life better? I don't know. So to me, I think that defeats the whole aim of reading. The purpose of reading is to learn new ways of expressing ourselves and hear the voice of the writer telling you about his own lived experience on the earth, based on their own professional knowledge and all of that, and they're sharing it with you. So for somebody to do that, I think it just may, especially if the person did not use AI to write it. But if the person used AI to write the book, maybe you can use AI to read it. But nah, it's, I mean, I'm just not, I'm not just, maybe I'm too old school for you, but I'm just not a fan. Oluwak Pelumi says, I agree, style is something we shouldn't obsess over. I think it's something that naturally develops as you work and learn, but trying to do that forcefully could be frustrating. I agree, yes, you've said it very well, Oluwak Pelumi. Charlie, I was going to ask that about portfolios. Yeah, thank you, you're welcome. Dynamic funk. Not in this case. You read the book, not using AI to read it for you. You use it as a tool alongside to use AI to help you understand the principles, writing, interpretation, grammar. Okay, I see where you're coming from. You're also saying, I see where you're coming from. You're also saying, what you're saying is correct. I'm saying to use it to help you learn, not as a cheap learning. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I understand if the words or the guy's communication, like the writer's communication, is too dense, I can see why you would consider using AI to break it down for you. But I don't think AI would cover, like, are you saying AI should interpret the entire book? Because if AI is going to do that, then that means if the book is 200 pages, then it means you're probably going to condense that to 100 pages, which is still a lot. Unless the AI starts to cut out things that are not important, which I feel, that's why I'm saying there's really no point. It's better you just read the book. Yes, the guy's language is very, very dense, but I think you get the idea. It's better to hear the author's voice, in my opinion. I had the exact same thoughts when I saw the email AI summary thing. Optimizing every aspect of our lives cannot be the way to go. Yeah, some things take time, and that's okay. Thank you very much, Yusuf. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. Some things take time. It's okay. You know, time is part of the human nature. Like, spending time is part of human nature. So I don't know, this whole idea of doing things super fast. Yeah. Okay. Man, time is fast spent. Sorry, but I mean, I'd rather chat with you guys than just be drawing. So let me see what I can do in the next 30 minutes, and I'll jump off. So let me quickly color this guy. And coloring it now should be easier because I already have a reference. Yeah. I need to get rid of this line. Get rid of this line. Okay. And she's wearing this. She's wearing something that looks like an apron. We used to call it pinafore then in school, but I don't know if that's a real pinafore. I don't know if that's a real English word. But that's what we used to call it in school. I understand what dynamic funk is saying. I do it too every once in a while when I come across something that I can't really get my head around on my own. I could feed that section to the thing to section of the thing to AI. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I think it's fine if you want to do that. It's fine. Yeah, like use it like a thesaurus dictionary. Still a tool, and it doesn't take away from you reading the book and taking the proper time to digest it. Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, the aim of reading a book is to learn, is to grasp knowledge, and if using AI helps you to grasp that knowledge better, I mean, by all means, then it shouldn't be a problem. The only problem is if it makes us to not want to use our brains anymore, then that's when I have a problem with it. But if it's going to help us to digest something better, why not? I think it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, then her socks. This is fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, and then the shoes. I usually like to label this thing so that I don't draw on the wrong layer. Sometimes drawing on the wrong layer can take me back a few steps. So because I might need to correct something on that layer, but if everything is fused already, it's difficult to correct it. So I just like to separate to have more control. So I do this every Fridays, by the way, so it's not just today. I've been doing it for 46 weeks now, because this is like week 46. So if you want to catch up on some of the previous sketchathons I've done, you can check everything in my profile. All the videos are there. This shoe is not drawn properly. To draw it properly. So this shoe is like a very unique type of shoes, because human beings don't wear shoes like this, but I mean, it's still kind of similar to what women wear with high heels. but I tried to design a shoe that makes sense for an ungodly grade to wear. So in case you don't know what an ungodly grade is, you can Google it. There are three types of mammals. We have digigrade, plantigrade, and ungodly grade. So digigrades are animals like cats and dogs. Then plantigrades are like humans, apes. Those are plantigrades. And then we have ungodly grade. Ungodly grades are animals with hooves, like a goat, a horse, zebra, antelope. So I'm trying to create like a shoe that fits an ungodly grade. And by the way, I studied Zootopia designs before coming up with this. Like I said, I also study people's work, so I studied some designs for Zootopia, and I was trying to do something slightly different. I got a lot of inspiration from Zootopia, but I still tried to do something different with the designs. So Zootopia, they kind of have the same type of legs. Not entirely the same, but most of the animals have similar type of legs, or similar type of feet rather. The feet. So I tried to make something slightly different for the feet. To straighten this leg out. Alright, so I don't want to spend too much time correcting this line work. So let's look at her face. Let's do the badge. Since I already have this design, I'm just going to use it, sample these colors directly. Okay, there's some comments here. This exercise just made me remember Camp Laszlo and my gym partner is a monkey. Oh really? I've not heard of that before. I'm going to be trying to watch these sessions every week. This is my second time joining live now, and I'm really loving it. Thank you for doing this. No problem, man. Thank you so much. Oluwa Pelumi, thank you for joining. I really appreciate your support. If you can make it every week, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so this is the badge. Right. Okay, so her face, let's look at the face. Eyes. So I'm actually still using references here, and from what I see, antelopes have darker eyes. So I'm just going to, let me see how that works first. If it works, let me try it first. Before I do that, I'm going to shade this guy. Just trying to see what is going to work. Experimenting here. See if it works. The horn black. Okay, so let's now try do the eyeballs. So I'm trying to keep the eyeballs realistic. Let's see if it will work, because their eyeballs are not white. So let's see. I know we are still androgenizing these guys, but I just want to see if it will work. And this will work. I'm going to flip the canvas, look at it from this angle. Okay, so it looks weird, but the eyeballs looks weird, but if I make it white, this is what we're going to have, and it's not really working. So I'm going to make this maybe yellow. Let's make it yellowish or orange. Let's make it brighter. And then the tail is going to have a lot of whites, some of the whites. So this is a somewhat realistic rendering of of an antelope. Well, I think it works for now. It looks okay for me. To me, it looks okay. Okay, so I think I like this. I actually like this. The only thing that I'll add to this is like a glint to show a little bit of reflection. And a little bit of reflection on the eyes. But this is not bad. Okay, flipping it back again. So to add the glints, I'm just going to do that on this layer. So this is white, a white glint. All right, so do you storyboard on clip? Yes, I do storyboards. I have some storyboard lives. I think I'm probably going to do storyboard next because it's been a while since I did storyboard. So maybe next week I'll do storyboards. But what I usually do for storyboards are studies. Like I don't do actual storyboard. I just do studies of, like, I take a film that I like. The studies I did were for Dune, so I take a film that I like and then I study, and I've learned a lot from those studies that I'm using for my own project, because I direct as well. So some of the ideas I've gotten from from studying Dune, I'm able to use that for my own personal project. I learn a lot from studying, from storyboard studies. Okay, I think I'm done with this. Just to add like a little bit of a hoof. Just to add a little bit of there should be another hoof here. There should be another hoof here. Let's see. Okay, if that hand is inside there like this. I'm just trying to imagine what this hand will look like inside to know if it's practical or if there's, yeah, I feel like she should have at least one hoof come up from here, from the back. Excellent. Studying Sakuga bowling. Oh, nice. One more. Where did you get your brushes or pens from? So you know, Clip Studio has a community where you can purchase stuff from. Some of the stuffs are free. Some of the tools are free, but I'm sure you can find a lot of tools that are good tools that are free there. But I actually bought some of them from the Clip Studio store. A lot of cool stuff there. And I actually have extra clippy points, so I don't know if it's transferable, but I have a lot of clippy points that I don't know what to do with, and it's going to expire this month. So if there's a way to transfer, if you can figure out a way to transfer clippy points, just let me know and I'll transfer them to you. You can send me a DM or on Instagram or anything like that, and then I'll transfer the clippy points to you, because I have like almost like up to 1,000 clippy points that I'm not using, and it's going to expire this month. So yeah. Okay, so that's the hoof. Let's quickly wrap this thing up and call it a day before my family starts to look for me. Like, where are you? It's weekend. Again, add this one, stripe. One thing I can't wait to do with these characters is to do like moment paintings or pictures, illustrations with them doing different things in school. It's going to be fun, but that'll be much later. But yeah, I'm going to try to have as much fun with these guys. So the hoof. Love those eyes. Thank you. Yeah, the eyes are cool. I'm trying to keep it somewhat grounded. Transfer. Oh yeah, if there's a way to transfer it, yeah, I can send you the clippy points. I have way too many clippy points I'm not using, so yeah. Alright, so the hoofs, I think the colors should be darker, so something like this. I'm going to color not too dark. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, this socks, you know what, let me fix it. I don't want, there are different ways people used to wear, like I used to notice like ladies wearing their socks in school. They would roll it up. So that's what I was trying to achieve here. Let me see if I can correct it. So I want something. I don't even know if this makes sense, but yeah, something like this. Yeah, so I just wanted her to fold up, to roll up the socks a little bit. Maybe this is too long. Maybe I'm just going to drop it down. It's too long. Something like this. So you see what I'm trying to do? This is what someone asked, the question somebody asked about character design, that I mentioned tridimensionality. So what I'm doing now is physiological. I'm trying to show that she has a slightly different way of wearing her socks compared to others. So these little things, they matter in storytelling, in design. The way they wear their socks is not all going to be the same. So that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you. You like some clippy points too. So guys, I can share clippy points, but I need to be sure that it's not a situation where I have to share my login details. Like if I can transfer clippy points without sharing my login details, by all means I'll share it, because I'm not even using it and it's going to expire this month. I have like 7 days left. So if you can find a way to transfer it without me giving you my login details, by all means. What display tablet I'm using? I'm using a Cintiq, a very old Cintiq 16, a very old one. I really want to get, so I'm using a Cintiq 16. I really want to get one soon, entry level. Kind of feel like I've plateaued with my pen tablet. Yeah, I'm using a Cintiq, a very old one. I've been using this for like how many years now? Since 2021. So that's 5 years. I was planning to get rid of this one this year, but I mean, the year is still young, so I might be able to get rid of it. I'm sure there's a friend of mine that I wanted to give it to and get a new one. So yeah, I hope I'm able to make the money that I'm hoping for so that I can change, because yeah, this one is really old. Let's try it. We've made a lot of magic together, but we have to part ways at some point. Well, I hope you know that it's not the tablet that really matters, because for a long time I used the pen tablets. I used a Wacom Intuos for a long time before I got the Cintiq. So don't think that it's like, don't be too hard on yourself. If you cannot afford it, use what you can afford. The most important thing is the skill. Just have the skill, not the tool. The tool helps, yes, it helps, but the skill is more important than the tool. So think about the skill first, and when you can afford the tool, then you get it. You just need something that is okay and that works fine until you're able to upgrade. Yeah, so this is what I was trying to do with the socks. I think it gives it more character like this. Yeah, I think I'm done with this. I have 3 minutes left. I'm done with this guy. I'm done with besides the shading, which is not that important. I can even get rid of all the shading. Yeah, so this was fun. I need to hop out now. Please join me next week. Next week I think I'll be doing storyboarding. I'll do something different. I've been doing characters for some weeks now, so I want to try something different. Eventually, when I'm done with this stuff, I'll post it on social media. So you see the final work on social media. There's supposed to be a buckle somewhere here. Okay, no, she doesn't need a buckle. Anyway. Yeah, so at least I was able to do two. Two characters, two colors today. Two characters today. I was able to do that. So, Oluwapelumi says, I checked the Clippy Points thing. So far, it doesn't look like you can transfer directly to another account, but it looks like you can gift them to creators when you get their assets from the store. And give them to creators. Okay, I mean, I didn't know that. Okay, I've been using my H 430p pen tablet since 2022. Nice. Quite sad, no way to transfer. Oh man, I'm sorry you guys, but I'm sorry I got your hopes up. I thought there was a way, but sorry about that. Be here next week for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much and thank you for engaging. Like, you guys, thank you so much for engaging in the chat. I really appreciate Yusuf, Dynamic, Funk, Charlie, Oluwapelumi. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much. Feel free to watch the other ones that are on my page. Have a great weekend and see you next week. Peace.